Okay, let's learn what is AI and its subsets. So what is AI? AI is artificial intelligence. It stands for artificial intelligence. What exactly it is? We have been hearing AI and now everybody are focused on AI. So it is an ability of a machine to mimic humans. Basically, to mimic human intelligence is artificial intelligence. So to explain in a better way, it is enabling machines to perform tasks which typically require human intelligence. Tasks like problem solving, reasoning, learning, perception, language translation, all these tasks, if a machine is able to do, and that study is artificial intelligence, and that concept is artificial intelligence, and it has many subsets. So one of the important subset is ML, machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning, it focuses on developing algorithms and statistical models to improve performance of a machine to do a particular task through experience, which is data, and without explicitly programming. So the idea of techietuition is to break complex concepts into minute level details. So let's go in detail about machine learning. In short, or in a simple term, machine learning focuses on building systems that can learn from data. So what are the examples of machine learning? All it requires is data. So with help of data, it can do classification tasks. Classification task is nothing but identification of spam emails. Okay, then it can also do recommendation. Recommendations are nothing but your Amazon, Netflix, or any OTT. Based on your watch history, it will recommend your next movie. For example, if you watch in Inception, it might give a recommendation of another Nolan movie, Dunkirk, or Interstellar. If you watch Interstellar, it might recommend Gravity. So that is recommendation. And then prediction. Based on the data, it can predict house prices, share prices, all that. So all that study comes under machine learning. And inside or under machine learning, it's a subset called deep learning. There are other subsets like supervised learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. We will talk about all this in other episodes. Today we will focus only on a high level. What is AI? Overall, what are its subsets? So deep learning, we have deep learning. What is deep learning? Deep learning is that focuses on, deep learning uses artificial neural networks, something called artificial neural network. What is neural network? Neural networks are actually meant for biology to study in human anatomy. Neurons, you might have studied in school about your neurons. So the functioning of that neuron, how it actually, so basically mimicking that is, and they have termed it as artificial neuron. So deep learning uses artificial neural network with many layers. So the more the layers are, the deeper. So that's why it's called deep learning. So Deep learning uses artificial neural networks with many layers to process and learn from data. So, examples for deep learning: image recognition, finding an object or facial recognition, speech to text like Siri, speech to text Siri in Apple phones, or Google Translate, or in the Sony or any other Android TVs, you have a voice button. If you instead of searching manually, you can uh, talk. You can say search for Eminem, and then it gives all related Eminem songs in YouTube. So, or you can talk any movie. You can use it as a voice command. So another example for deep learning, interesting example is self-driving cars. Self-driving cars, Tesla. So they use deep learning. So again, in the deep learning, there are multiple subsets. We will talk RNNs, recurrent neural networks, CNNs, convolution neural networks, then transformers. We will talk about transformers, and we will talk about RNNs and CNNs later. Transformers are very, very important. It revolutionized let's talk about transformers. Before transformers, we need to talk about natural language processing. Natural language processing, NLP, is a broad term again. It's a subset of AI, and also it's a subset of transformers. Why? Because the earlier chatbots use natural language process, but it is rudimentary, so it's based on rule based systems. But why transformers is effective and it's so powerful is um, because of self attention mechanism. So it revolutionized complete NLP and the tasks such as machine translation and text generation. So what it is? It is basically a transformer, a deep learning neural network architecture. Transformer, as name suggests, it transforms the input into a meaningful output. And for example, let's say consider a task of translating a sentence from English to French. Transformer can pass the entire sentence at once using self-attention, allowing them to capture long-range dependencies more effectively than traditional RNN. We'll talk about RNN later. Traditional RNN and LSTM, long short-term memory neural network, and RNNs. We'll talk in detail about RNNs later, recurrent neural networks. Just as of now, they are designed to handle sequential data where the order of the data points matter. So, but whereas transformer, the order of the data need not be. So, let's say even if you jumble the words or even if the words are far apart, based on the context and the intent, it can still give a relevant output. That's the magic of transformers. So generative AI is a subset of transformer, generating a new content from an existing data is called generative AI. So generating new content like text or an image or an audio or a video. For text, we all know ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, QuenChat is there, Image, DALL-E, Midjourney, audio, OpenAI, JukeTech, video recently, ByteDance, which is parent company of TikTok, they are able to generate. So if a model has been trained with certain amount of data already on multiple fields, so it can generate a new, it can write a poetry, because you might have fed the model with certain poetry references. For example, Pablo Neruda, Rabindranath Tagore. So if you ask to write a poetry on, for example, techietuition, it can write. If you want to write a song on techietuition, it can still write if you give that as a prompt. So this overall picture is AI. So there are many other concepts, but these are very key concepts which you must know. We will learn these one by one at a time in detail. Till then, wait for the next video. We'll talk more about history of AI. Thank you.